A managed service arrangement provides for a way to boost the effectiveness and cost efficiency of a given business function. As such, it entails a close cooperation between both the client and the managed service provider in order to achieve the desired goal. In practical terms, however, there is no escaping the fact that both the client and the vendor may have differing perspectives on the cooperation. How to navigate this area as a client? How can we choose the right vendor and structure the relationship so it's geared for success? At the foundation of every change is a reflection. Taking the time to understand the status quo and select a relevant course of action is the first critical step to starting a fruitful managed service cooperation. Organizations that lack the capacity to reflect and pinpoint the business problems will have limited chances of reaping the benefits from cooperating with a vendor. An appropriate identification of the issue, areas it affects, and the level of impact, backed by an organization-wide commitment to resolve it, are prerequisites. Without the awareness and the will, there will be little the vendor can do to help. The process may very well be supported by the potential provider, however, it is the client who needs to be committed to the change. Before making the leap and entering a managed service cooperation, the client should assess the vendor from the perspective of their organizational culture and shared values. This due diligence should be done in addition to the regular business case considerations. A managed service arrangement is usually a long-term cooperation that calls for choosing a vendor that is credible, consistent, and reliable. This drives the level of trust in the relationship, which is paramount. After all, a good managed service provider is a true advisor that works to uncover and solve problems. The vendor selection process is usually a good moment to reflect on those considerations. Regardless of how good the relationship between the parties may be, there is no escaping that there is a transactional aspect. The client enters the relationship seeking to manage the complexity of keeping a certain business function up to the desired standards. They are purchasing a service, expecting the managed service provider to fulfill their expectations relating to quality, availability, performance, and profitability. Contractual clauses notwithstanding, it is the relationship between the partners that is crucial here. Partners who are aware that they are in it for the long run, working towards a mutually acknowledged, clearly defined goal, are more likely to overcome any challenges along the way. Even more so, the quality of interactions between the people of the respective organizations pays dividends. The leaders who set the tone for the entire relationship, the middle management who navigates the complexities of the business, as well as the operational staff who delivers the results. If built on solid foundations, the transactional nature of the cooperation should not loom large over the relationship. The client wants to accomplish certain goals by entering a managed service scenario. The managed service provider wants to help the client achieve these goals by meeting expectations laid out in the contract. The contract needs to be defined in a way that these two perspectives are covered. Contractual clauses should be well defined and aligned with the client's overarching goals. It may be challenging to draw up a contract that is flexible and comprehensive without being restrictive. In an age where business projects are increasingly multidisciplinary and tech-reliant, certain complexities cannot be identified up front. The crucial step here is to have a structured approach to defining the goals and metrics that will allow you to measure their completion. Even if specific service level agreements are being met, clients may struggle to accomplish their goals. When that happens, the client needs to give the provider actionable feedback. The vendor may have to perform actions that are outside the scope of the initial contract for the client to meet the project goals. An agile approach to planning, delivering, and reviewing can make this possible. Pipeline and change management guardrails will govern what kind of adjustments to the initial scope are permissible and how expectations are handled. Clear timelines will allow both parties to plan, adapt to changes, collect the necessary input from all actors involved, and deliver results. Despite the fact the managed service journey is complex, it can be well worth the effort. For best results, an organization must be aware of the various facets of managed service and be equipped with the tools to navigate this space effectively.